Welcome back to the Takeout. The AI company Anthropic is challenging the Pentagon in court today after the Trump administration designated it as a national security risk. Anthropic previously expressed concern with how the military wanted to use its AI models. Here's what CEO Dario Amodei told our Jolene Kent last month.
We believe in defeating our autocratic adversaries. We believe in defending America. The red lines we have drawn, we drew because we believe that crossing those red lines is contrary to American values.
And Tom Dupree joins us now to discuss. He is the former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under President George W. Bush. Good to have you as always, Tom. What are we learning about this dispute on how the Pentagon wanted to use Anthropic's Claude AI model, and how does this affect the millions of Americans who use AI every day?
Well, today's showdown in the San Francisco courtroom really implicates the future of AI. And Anthropic obviously was very unhappy when the Pentagon did what it did and designated it a supply chain risk. The president essentially told anyone in the federal government doing business with Anthropic needs to cease immediately. So Anthropic went running into federal court. They're arguing that what the War Department is doing violates its constitutional rights. They're arguing that the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, overstepped his legal authority by designating them a supply chain risk and basically trying to cut them out. So those are all the issues that are percolating today, and those are the issues that the judge in San Francisco is going to have to sort out.
Yeah, and I guess just speaking to that, obviously the Pentagon struck a deal with Anthropic's rival ChatGPT, but it's going to take some time to kind of make that transition within the military from Anthropic. So what types of issues could that potentially pose as this legal case plays out?
Yeah, well, it's definitely a moving scenario right now. There are a lot of moving parts. ChatGPT, as you noted, is getting involved. And the thing about Anthropic is that it is very well ingrained in existing military technology. This isn't something where the Pentagon can simply unplug and pull out the Anthropic technology from all their war, machines and technologies and devices. This is something that is going to happen over time. And what the federal judge decides today could play a significant role in that. If the federal judge sides with Anthropic, I think it would make it more difficult, frankly, for the War Department to completely excise Anthropic. Whereas if the federal judge agrees with the War Department, well, then Anthropic is going to have a tougher road ahead.
Yeah, and interestingly, we've seen since this falling out with the Pentagon that downloads of Claude have actually increased. So also, how do you see that having an impact as this case plays out?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing here is that I think a lot of people looking at this give a lot of credit, frankly, to Anthropic for standing up to its beliefs, to saying we are the developers of this technology and we don't want it used in certain ways. We don't want it used to conduct mass surveillance on Americans. We don't want it to be used for purposes of automated weapons. And so I think some people in the public say, hey, saying we kind of agree with this. We like these red lines that Anthropic was drawing. And sure, the War Department may not like it and they may punish them, but we as consumers, as Americans, we respect those decisions. And so, well, we're going to download it and use it ourselves.
Is there a precedent for a case like this, or are we flying blind here?
Well, like a lot of things in the new Trump administration, we're making new law. But there is a fair amount of precedent out there, at least about the processes that the government has to follow when it wants to declare a company a supply chain risk. It's not just a matter of the Secretary of War saying, I think they're a risk, I'm signing this document. They actually have to jump over certain bureaucratic hurdles. They have to follow certain procedures. And so while a lot of the attention in this case has gotten focused on the constitutional claims Anthropic is making, a lot of lawyers are keeping their eye on the dustier, maybe more boring, but perhaps ultimately more persuasive to the judge legal arguments that the Pentagon simply didn't follow the legal process they need to follow in this case.
And I'm sure you're one of them who will be following this very closely and
like
enthusiastically, I can tell.
For sure.
All right, Tom Dupree, thank you so much.